Professor Rohan, a historian with a passion for the past, found himself in a bustling city that felt familiar, yet subtly wrong. He checked into a modest guest house, his mind still reeling from a strange, disorienting journey. The air hummed with an unfamiliar energy, and the buildings seemed to whisper tales he didn't quite recognize. Drawn by a growing crowd, he wandered into a large, open ground called Azad Maidan. A lecture was in progress, and a large pandal, adorned with colorful fabrics, was filled with people. Out of habit, Professor Rohan moved closer, curious about the speaker and the topic. But his eyes fixed on the platform. There was a table and a chair, but the presidential chair, usually occupied by a dignitary, was empty. An empty presidential chair. This was unheard of in his world, where such customs were deeply ingrained. A strange, powerful feeling compelled him forward, a sense of sacrilege. Like a magnet drawing iron, Professor Rohan strode towards the unoccupied chair. The speaker paused, shocked by the interruption. Then, the audience erupted. "Vacate the chair. We have no chairperson." "The chair is symbolic," they chanted, their voices a furious wave. Professor Rohan, a man of strong convictions and a lifetime of public speaking, couldn't believe his ears. "An unchaired lecture is like Hamlet without the prince," he declared, grabbing the microphone. He tried to explain the importance of a presiding dignitary, but the crowd was beyond reason. "We abolished old customs long ago," they roared, their voices a unified storm. "We only want to hear the speaker." Soon, a shower of tomatoes and eggs rained down upon him. Professor Rohan, despite his vast experience facing difficult audiences, was overwhelmed by their hostility. The audience surged forward, determined to remove him from the stage. In the ensuing chaos, Professor Rohan was engulfed by the crowd, a swirling vortex of anger. And then, suddenly, he was gone. He later found himself back in his own familiar world, disoriented but safe, the memory a vivid dream. Back in his cozy study, surrounded by stacks of books, Professor Rohan recounted his unbelievable tale to his friend Vivek, a fellow historian. Vivek listened, initially skeptical, attributing it to a vivid dream or perhaps a hallucination brought on by stress. "What were you thinking about just before this happened?" Vivek asked, his brow furrowed. "Catastrophe theory and its implications for history," Professor Rohan replied, a glint in his eye. Then, with a triumphant flourish, he produced a torn page from his pocket, carefully preserved. "Look at this, Vivek. This is my proof, my tangible link to that other reality." Vivek read the page, his eyes widening. It described how Vishwasrao narrowly missed a bullet at the Battle of Panipat, turning the tide for the Marathas. Professor Rohan then showed him his own history book, which unequivocally stated Vishwasrao was hit and died, leading to a different outcome. Vivek's face paled. "Facts can indeed be stranger than fantasies," he murmured, now a believer in the incredible adventure.